Hello, it is Vincent, and today marks my 64 weeks on T. I have been on testosterone for 64 weeks. Wow. Now, it has been a very common mystery for most guys who have absolutely no connections with a fellow trans man. I just wanted to give out all that I have done regarding HRT here in the Philippines. Number 1, confirm that you are trans. If you want to medically transition for all the wrong reasons, you just want to get more masculine, gain muscle, or get a deeper voice, or you just want to gain male privilege or anything superficial, then I advise you to research more about your gender identity. Keep in mind that T has permanent effects. You know, stuff that you should be willing to live with if ever you decide to medically transition once you identify as trans. Number 2, what I did was I searched for a support group. Support groups are really important, especially if you want a safe space for you to talk about trans-related issues, because not everyone can understand what you're going through except the people who are like you. So with me, I looked for a support group for trans men. The thing is, I think this was 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. It was really hard to look for a support group. I didn't even know that support groups existed for transgender men here in the Philippines. Like, I had to join an international support group first on Facebook, and I asked the people there if they knew any Filipinos or Pinoy trans men here in the Philippines. Pinoy trans men here in the Philippines. Yeah, that's what I said. And boom, that's how I found my support group. Since I mentioned that it was really difficult to find a support group here in the Philippines, I didn't want to waste any time, so I did my research. I learned all the stuff I needed to know about T, stuff I needed to know about being trans, and how the Philippines is when it comes to dealing with trans-related issues. So that's number 3. So once you identify as trans, once you find a support group, once you know all the stuff that you need to know about T, being trans, everything else. Number 4, I went to see an endocrinologist. For those of you who don't know, endocrinologists specialize in your endocrine system. Yeah, no, seriously. Those who can prescribe you with T, or who can monitor or guide your medical transition, are OB-GYNs, endocrinologists, or psychiatrists. And the one that was really accessible to me and to my support group was an endocrinologist. So you can either go to any of the 3 and make sure that they are trans-friendly, of course. I would like to emphasize on trans-friendly medical professionals, because there are a lot of medical professionals out there who do not exactly support trans medical needs for reasons that I do not know. So once you get a medical professional who is willing to help you out and guide you through the whole process and tells you that you are healthy enough to get on T, that's when I ordered my testosterone. There is no specific process, or there's no fixed process for you to get on T here in the Philippines. So I'm just gonna share my own experience on what I did to get on T. There are several ways for you to acquire or buy or get T. One is you can either buy online, but I don't know which ones to buy. So number 2, there are people, or there are some guys who have friends who go to neighboring Asian countries, and then other neighboring Asian countries sell testosterone as over-the-counter drugs, and that's where they buy. Number 3 is usually once you have a support group, they have their own ways of acquiring T, so you can do that. That's what I did. What my support group does is we buy from a local legit pharmaceutical company in bulk. That's how the members of our support group get their supplies of testosterone. So that's what I did. Please take note that usually support groups have rules when it comes to buying testosterone. Just like our support group, please don't join a support group just for you to buy testosterone. That's so wrong. Once I got my order, it's either you self-administer your shot, just like most of the guys, or you find someone like a healthcare provider, like a nurse, friend of yours, or anyone who is trained to do intramuscular injections. So that's it. I hope this video was useful to you guys, and I hope I answered your questions for those of you who have been asking me about this. Thank you so much for watching my video again for the nth time. I love you for watching this. Please feel free to comment, email me, or send me or contact me through any of my social media sites if you have further questions about this topic. Bye! Oh, and by the way, this is one of the shirts that I had made. It's personalized and I love it because it has the trans flag as a pocket.